Okay, we're recording.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, Helen. Is this your first time on the podcast?
I am.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you
Thoughts
here.
with your thoughts.
Hello, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday with 3W. Wellness Wednesday is sponsored by 3W Medical for Women, a nonprofit medical clinic offering free of charge or low-cost reproductive health services to women in the Seattle area, regardless of income or insurance status. 3W does not profit off of the reproductive health choices women make. The information shared in this podcast is the opinion of the speaker or speakers. Medical information is not intended as individual medical consultation, but for general education only. Always consult your own health professional for personalized advice regarding medical decisions. And if you're in the Seattle area, consider making an appointment to consult with us. I'm Helen Nguyen, CEO and co-founder of 3W Medical for Women and the host of today's podcast. Well, welcome to Wellness Wednesday with 3W. I am your host, CEO of 3W Medical for Women, Helen Nguyen. Thank you for joining us again with this podcast. And we're so glad to wrap up this year with you. So we thought we would release a podcast that you could get to hear a little bit from our advancement team, kind of the administrative part of 3W. I thought you would be interested in hearing some of their accomplishments this year, what to look forward to next year. Some of them you don't get to hear much from. So it's going to be an interesting podcast with Mike Jones, our media director.
Hello.
Oh, and the only man on our team. So he's pretty special. And we have Taylor, who's our executive assistant.
Hey, everyone.
Yes, she's the oils girl. And then we have...
I have a towel to prove that.
Yes. And then we have Alejandra.
Hello.
Who's our content marketing specialist. And then last but not least, our Hispanic community advocate, Marisol.
Hello.
Yeah. So let's start with Mr. Mike Jones as our media director. What are some highlights that you would like to share with our listeners this year from your perspective that we did well, that we didn't do well? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we set up this podcast studio, so that was a big thing. We no longer record in the consult room. Mm-hmm. So that's nice for everyone. We have a permanent space for doing our podcast. We've expanded our podcast. We now have the Spanish language podcast in addition to the weekly English podcast.
Yes.
What else? We did a variety of live streams this year for fundraising, a lot of stuff on Giving Tuesday and other donor events. We've expanded our marketing efforts through, print and web, developed our social media more this year. And then we have a new website that's in development that will hopefully be out soon, as well as a new app for our patients, which is really cool, which is coming early next year too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of fun stuff that happened this year. And I'm so grateful that you have been able to spearhead a lot of them. When you came onto the team, that really took our marketing and our media to the next level. So I'm so grateful for you and what you've brought to the organization. And our podcast, like you said, our podcast has continuously just gotten better through the year that it started from. And we're no longer in the consult room, like you said. We're actually in our little studio that you created for us. And it's so warm, people. You just want to curl up with a nice blanket in here.
I don't know that you need the blanket. It's so warm in here.
Yeah, but it's such a comfortable place now. It looks very professional. And even people from the community want to come and use it. So it belongs to us, but it belongs to the community as well, which is exactly what our organization is about. So
and I sleep here on weekends, so it works out for everyone.
All right.
Perfect fit for you, Mike. Perfect fit.
So if you come in and you see a rolled up sleeping bag on the corner, you know that it's Mike Jones.
I just use the sound blankets.
Well, there you go. Thank you to our donors for the wonderful sound blankets. What about you, Taylor? What have you seen us progress through the years? You've been one of our more senior staff people. And what do you think about this 2021 year?
Yeah, I think that some of the biggest things we did is we moved into this new office space, and that drug out, and that took what it felt like forever. And poor Marisol and Alejandra had no desk for so long. They were shifting desks. They were trying to use laptops, and they were both so patient. But we finally got into this space, and it's just a very, very short walk from the clinic. So it's the best possible situation we could have been in. I think that this year our team was really, really put in a situation where we had to grow. And a lot of that was because we wanted to implement new things. 2020 didn't allow us to do much. And so we came into this year really, really strong. And then with Max coming into your life, Helen, that stretched us to take on more leadership. And I think that we've walked away from that a lot stronger as a team. And then we also, I think it was almost the first event for you, Helen, was the summer event that we did in Fremont with young adults for our donors and supporters. And that was kind of the first event where you knew what was going on, but you were able to just walk onto the scene and do your thing and then go home. And for you, who has been a part of this organization for 8 years or something rather, I mean, since the beginning, that was the first time where something big had happened and you were able to just come and leave. And those are more your words than mine. And so we're finally getting to that point where you have a team, and this organization has a team that's so very competent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm grateful for you for so many of those events that we were able to pull off successfully this year. You know, so much of it is of stretch for me too. Like I've mentioned to you guys many times, after we get to come back and debrief about these events. And so much of it is like, gosh, I don't know all the details. And as a control freak, that always was very difficult for me. But like you said, with our team, you guys know what to do. You know what to expect. You know when issues come up that you can take care of it without having to ask me for my opinion or to involve me. That's been bittersweet for me in some ways. So, but I'm grateful that that's kind of where we're at this point. And I'm looking forward to more events next year where I'm even more, I'm able to stay in that big picture realm, which I'm very grateful for. So yeah. Yeah. What about you, Alejandra?
I'd say for me, coming on last October and having gone through a full year, I think was cool because it was starting from the ground up in the sense like I didn't have a desk. I didn't really know.
That was on purpose.
It was good for me, I think, because I really got to know the team in a really cool way where I probably wouldn't have if I would have had my own space. So it was nice because I had to go and sit with Annabell sometimes or with Mike or with Taylor. And then with Madi towards the end of our time being in the clinic, like, you know, sharing your office space, Helen, that was really fun because we got really close really fast and got to just work together. And then just overlapping once our Spanish podcast came out, we were already there, you know? So I think overall, it's been cool to take social media to the next level in a lot of ways and let myself grow as well in what's needed, because as I learned how to look at data, how to look at demographics and see like how can we, you know, reach more patients? How can we reach more of who we want to serve? And my job is not just my own job, but it's so intertwined with all of yours. So I think that's the part that I really enjoy, is that even though we have so many different tasks on our own, they're somehow intertwined.
Yes.
You know, and I think that really shows, well, it has shown me a lot of team building, a lot of confidence, a lot of, you know, trust as well, because it's not only am I carrying my own part, but how am I taking care of my fellow peers, you know, because it's just, it takes all of us to carry the boat, you know, or to get the boat going. Like, and the same with that Cheers event. Like I really felt like that was such a cool, smooth day, even though it was hectic and crazy and there were so many things going on. I felt like it was so well put together and plans were in place and we were able to really show our role and lead that well. And so that's been really cool. And then on the side, kind of like what Mike said, with just getting our marketing going in the aspect of like posters, postcards, you know, more content to be able to share with people when Marisol goes on talks and she's able to give that podcast card and say, hey, these are some podcasts that we've done before in Spanish and English.
And our new sandwich boards.
And our new sandwich
I'm really
boards.
proud of those.
Yeah. Like, and we got to
It's
give
the
a shout out to
little things.
Raul because I think, yes, we put the content together, but he does the design and helps. I mean, that's another piece I think that was huge for me was the designing. I was not very confident in designing and
Raul is our turtle farmer and graphic designer. He's very talented, wears many hats.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not in the office with us.
Right.
He's actually a contractor from Mexico, but he is, I don't know, I feel like he's part of the team in so many ways because he kind of gets how to work with us now, and he kind of gets our sense of humor and, being a turtle farmer and all. You kind of have to have a good sense of humor.
That's true.
Our next big campaign is Get Raul to America.
The main hang up is getting the visas cleared for the turtles. But once that happens, he's good. He's already approved.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Alejandra,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing. You've been such a wonderful addition to our team because, I mean, like many of us, we have always had to wear many hats, and sometimes the social media parts of it was passed on to a few of us before you came on board, and it's so nice to have someone just consistently do it, consistently doing a good job on it, and that we don't have to worry about it. She's the one that kind of sets up our schedule for our podcast and kind of quarterly reminds us, hey guys, this is what we need to do. Because I don't know about the rest of the team, but I have been so forgetful this year, been a lot of distractions, but she's the one that kind of has kept me on track and, reach out to the right people, especially to our guest speakers on our podcast, to make sure that they show up and that they know what they're talking about. Most of the time I'm just coming in and like, okay, who am I interviewing today? And what are we doing? So I'm so grateful for her for making sure we stay on top of things. So what about you, Marisol? She is our newest member to our team and our youngest member, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How old are you this year?
23.
23.
Yes, I always say 21 because for some reason my 21st birthday just stuck with me. And so people ask me how old I am and I'll be like, oh, 21. Wait, no, I'm 23. So
Marisol and I are 2 years apart. That's how I remember. I just subtract 2 from my age.
people actually think Mike and I are twins all the time.
Oh.
It happens quite often.
Okay. What?
If any of you look at our staff photos on our website, you will see the humor in what both of them are saying.
All right.
You saying I look old?
Yep, you caught me. Darn, Mike.
Oh gosh. Well, being our youngest and most junior staff member, how has it been for you joining our team? What were some of your expectations and in your role? You know, we kind of created your role
Yeah.
as you came on, and that has been fun for me, at least. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I think I've mentioned it before on a podcast, but I started as an intern. So that was kind of a exciting twist. I remember it was getting close to, it was winter break back then. I was still in school. And I remember I always tell Ollie this, like a week before, I was like, darn it, I've become kind of friends with these people and they're really fun. And now I'm going to have to say bye and like, I'm move on and like do whatever. And
Gotcha.
yeah. And then Helen offered me a job. So it's great. I didn't have to, and I'm horrible at goodbyes. I actually hate them. So
She just ghosts people.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I kind of I try and leave. It's funny.
Is that why you run?
But yeah, so I was thinking of how just sad it would be to leave the team after my internship. So I'm thankful that I was able to jump on as a staff. And it's been really fun. I think because we are a young team, everyone, it's...
You hear that, Helen?
everyone.
Oh gosh. I identify as 80.
Oh my goodness.
It's been great to just have a lot of freedom. Like you said, we created this role and be able to run ideas through all of you guys. You guys have been great mentors and just seeing what things we can do different than what's already out there. And, the population we're trying to serve is, changing all the time and trends are changing. So it's really nice to see that we have a team that's willing to adapt and be flexible and not just stick to what's already been done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has it been for you specifically, serving the Hispanic community? I think you're very well suited for the role. People love it when you come out and speak about 3W, and it's been so wonderful to see the numbers of our Hispanic patients growing, not only because we have 3 staff members that can speak Spanish, which is huge. We've been serving a good number of Hispanic patients this year, and I think that's due to your ability to reach so many people. But personally for you, you know, as a Latina woman, like, how has that changed your perspective on, you know, Hispanic and their healthcare and access to healthcare?
Yeah, no, it's been really eye-opening. I think that being in the middle of it, you kind of know what's lacking or the barriers and the beliefs people have, but just going out to other organizations. And I think a really cool thing about this is that I've actually been able to speak at organizations that, you know, I myself, like as a younger person, benefited from, or that my family when I was little was able to go to and get resources from. So it's really like a full circle to be like, okay, I'm to some extent giving back what I was given or like what my younger self was given. So that's been great. But it is very eye-opening because I think, you know, you go to college and you think you know a lot and you're getting this education and they're kind of telling you what, I mean, as a kind of like you said, as a Hispanic woman, a lot of the times I found myself in situations where I was being told what I needed or being told what my problems were. And then you go out and you talk to these communities and it's like, no, what they're telling you in class is not at all what really is going on the ground. And I think we need a lot more of that. We need a lot more people that care and want to make a change, but that you can't just make it online, or you can't, you know, you have to go and interact with those populations because it's a totally different world out there. So that's been great. It's been great to have that opportunity.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's awesome, guys. I guess my next question for each one of you is, what is one thing that you're looking forward to working on or implementing next year? What is something that folks can look forward to with us, alongside with us? I know, Mike, you've mentioned, you know, an update on our website and our patient app, but what's another thing that you are kind of looking forward to?
I'm really excited to do more videos now that we have this new space. We are putting together like a set, basically, which can have multiple functions. We can use it to do potentially patient education videos. You've kind of had the idea of maybe even doing like a talk show style thing on health topics in the future. You know, donor video interactions, all kinds of stuff is possible with it. So we've kind of been getting the furniture together, the space arranged, the lighting, and all the equipment. And so that will all, you know, come together real soon. And I'm looking forward to working on those videos there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Taylor?
Yeah, as I think about my own role, I think that what is to come in 2022 for me is a lot of just more solidifying the role and the projects we do, making it so that they're done well and that they're better every time, and that there's improvements on the things that we're already doing. And I think that that's a big part of what my role has been over the last year with some new things. But I think we finally hit a stride that we're all very comfortable with as far as events, as far as the content we send to our supporters, how we market to patients, how we communicate with one another, how we communicate across over different departments. And I think that we're coming into a time where we're going to also start bringing more people into the fold of the organization. And so watching the organization grow and working with people like Lauren and other leaders in 3W to get to a point where we are acting more like a larger organization and preparing 3W to be a larger organization with even multiple locations and multiple departments, multiple department heads, and start kind of conceptualizing how do we want this to grow and what do we want company culture to look like? How do we want to take care of the people we have here while also taking care of our patients? And I think that in 2022, we're going to start asking ourselves those big questions so that when it does happen, we're not surprised by it. We have planned for it and we are ready for it. And I think that that is going to be something is very interesting for all of us, because anytime previously that we've wanted to do something, we can just do it. And there's nothing really stopping us. And I hope that certainly doesn't change. But now we have way more people to consider, and we have energy to consider, and we have resources to consider. Those were the same problems, but they looked different in the past. Yeah. And I think that we're going to have to start adjusting our perspective on these things. And I think that's a very interesting new challenge.
Yeah, I think 2022 is going to, 2021 was such a great year. I think we're building on it, being more strategic and more, taking what we've done professionally and even raising the bar next year and seeing who else we're able to reach, where else we're able to reach. Is there a second location in the works? Time will tell. If it's meant to be, I think it will present itself. And of course I want 3W in as many places as possible, but our first priority is the one we already have open, and solidifying that structure is as important as expanding. So yeah. What about you, Alejandra?
I think for me, kind of like I resonated a lot with what Taylor was saying, and just the overall picture of where we can take it. And as far as marketing and the different pieces that I'm involved in, I think really looking at data some more and really seeing how to improve what we're already doing. So, right now we're doing a lot of Facebook Lives because that's been really successful for us. Even TikTok, if you guys haven't seen the TikTok videos, just really looking at ways to be creative, not just getting content out.
You don't need to look at the TikTok. No one wants to see that.
No, but just really reaching our patients where they're at. I've shared this with a couple of you, but in my time that I've worked here, our mission statement, reading it, every time I read it, I just kind of reflect on me and how those words actually mean so much to me as well. And so we say, to have women be capable of making their own health decisions, finding their self-worth. And I've actually felt like 3W has helped me find my self-worth, find my dignity, find my, maybe the voice that I didn't know I had. And that's been really valuable because I've been able to actually take that on myself and project that onto what our culture is like, what our mission is like in this organization. And I think being, a co-host with Marisol on the Spanish podcast, helping you out in the English podcast, that's given me a lot of courage and like excitement of what we could do next. And so, of course, like I feel like my role is kind of tapped into all of yours in a way. So just taking that to the next level. I don't know what that all entails, but
we'll find something for you.
Bringing those ideas onto the table for a new year.
Thank you. And Marisol, what about you?
She's looking forward to taking over as CEO.
Oh,
yes.
Is that
and president and firefighter and astronaut and all the fun stuff I wanted to do when I was
she has
5.
to go to law school first.
Yes. Right.
We worked out a 5-year plan, and you're not in it, Helen. I'm sorry.
I'm okay with that.
Really sorry.
I'm okay with that.
We thought this would be a good time to disclose it to you.
Thank you.
We're all together.
I love hearing it from a male's
family.
perspective as well.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Then she can go back to painting all of her furniture. All of those hobbies.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Marisol?
Um,
Looking forward to?
Yeah, I think, like Taylor said, the organization is at a very interesting place where we're growing and we're trying to just become a bigger organization, right? And hopefully in the future expand. But as for my position, it's catching up, it's setting its foundation. Like we mentioned, it's really new. And, when 3W becomes a bigger organization, I'd love for my position to not just be one position, but to be its own little department, because I truly think there is a need of that. And, when I go to these presentations, women will come up to me and be like, oh, it'd be so cool if you guys had this program or went into, something like nutrition or something, because it impacts your overall health. And there's just a lot that is out there,
Yeah.
And so I think it would be cool if one day my position was a little department or all our positions were little departments to cover those needs. Maybe not just next year's goal, but a 5-year goal.
5-year goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think those are wonderful goals, and those are wonderful things for us to look forward to. And I think as long as we continue to stay within our mission and work towards those goals, because it all falls within moving that mission forward. As a nonprofit, we are called to be change agents. And what does that mean? That means that we are responsible for these people's hard-earning money that they've donated to us, because we are 100% donor funded. And how do we take that money and put it right back into the community in which we're called to serve? So I think each one of us understand that from such a important level that, everyone in our team like pinches their pennies and makes sure that the money that's entrusted to us, the time that's entrusted to us, goes right back to our patient population. I hope those of you are listening who are patients see that, feel that, know that we're trying our best to always make sure that what you receive from us is, quality stuff, but also it's not breaking the bank as well. For me, 2021 has been such a roller coaster of a year, lots of ups, and life isn't perfect, so there's down parts too. But it's as a new mother stepping into that new role, it's been wonderful to see my team step up to the challenge of advancing without me sometimes, without me giving them the green light, and it's always turned out really, really well. But I'm also really, really looking forward to 2022 and what that's going to bring. And as my son gets older, he probably won't need me as much. But in my podcast about being a working mom, work has never been a burden for me. And it's actually a space where I look forward to coming and having real conversations with people. And it's wonderful to be able to involve my son in it now. So no one really gets much work done when I bring him in, but it's also so much fun when he's here.
We all take turns breastfeeding him. That's the best part.
Well, yeah, he
I have the best milk.
Oh my gosh.
Anything else?
I spent a lot of time around cows earlier point in my life, so some hormonal thing I picked up.
Well, how else is Max going to get that big? I mean, he is 25 pounds for 9-month-old, so he's pretty big. So pretty much he gets fed a lot while he's here, huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Especially from you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you again for all of you who tune in to our podcast. Thank you for supporting us through this wonderful and tough year. And we hope that you stick around for the ride for next year. There's a lot happening, as you can hear, and we're very privileged and honored to be able to do this work every day. So thank you so very much. Until next Wednesday.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. I guess let's just say both.
Yeah.
Christmas is done by the time we release this.
Oh my gosh. I hope you had a Merry Christmas.
And this is why Mr. Jones is not on a lot of our podcasts. For more information about 3W, please visit our website at 3wmedical.org. That's the number 3, the letter W, medical.org. From there, you can learn more information about the services we provide, book an appointment, or make a donation if you'd like to support our mission. You can also call our office at 206-588-0311. That's 206-588-0311. If you like this episode, please share it with others and consider subscribing on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, stay healthy and be well.